Good morning, everybody out there in football land. Can you believe it? We're already in week 4 of the NFL season. It is flying by. I wish it wouldn't. But we got early morning football today, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Jaguars taking on the Falcons in London. Make sure you set your lineup super early. Don't get caught up forgetting about the early games. Kickoffs at 9:30. We got about an hour to go before the games get started. Before we get into some lineup questions, if you have any lineup questions, go ahead, put them in the comments. We'll answer them, talk about who you should start, who you should sit. Well, at the end of the show, we'll kind of give a DFS lineup I think might do good. I'll give you what I put in to see if you can win some money today. But let's start off first by recapping what happened Thursday. The Lions playing the Packers. The Lions look so good as a team as whole. Jared Goff playing very well. David Montgomery had himself a day, 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns on the day. You think with all the points they scored, us Jahmyr Gibbs fans would be, had a good day, huh? Not the case. David Montgomery rushed the ball 32 times after just coming back from a thigh injury. No such thing as ramping up and putting him in bubble wrap. This is not good news for us Jahmyr Gibbs fans. I'm about to hit the panic button, folks. Probably have with where we drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. A lot of people took him end of the first round, early second round. You're not going to get any return on investment in a trade worth anything for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's not even worth starting, really. He's been giving us consistent 9 points, but there's just been no chances for him to really explode like we've been told from the Lions front office, the Lions offensive coordinators, all the coaching staff, from reports we got in training camp. Nothing's happening. On 3rd and 16 in this game, we have David Montgomery lining up wide to run routes. The whole reason Jahmyr Gibbs was brought into the Lions organization was because of how useful he was as a receiver. All season long, you heard them talking about, wow, they're really lining up Jahmyr Gibbs out wide a lot. Wow, he's going to get a lot of targets as a receiver. Look at him as like an Alvin Kamara type back. What's the purpose of saying all this if you don't even line the guy up out wide? Like, dude gets 1 carry, gets subbed out for David Montgomery. There was a play in the game, and it pissed me off. Jahmyr Gibbs gets brought in to do a reverse pitch to somebody and then gets taken out. You mean to tell me David Montgomery couldn't just go in for that pitch? Like, are you kidding me? It's so aggravating. Jahmyr Gibbs fans, I understand if you want to bench him. At this point, he's not even really a flex consideration. He just doesn't get touches. He had like 8 carries last week. Maybe, just maybe, he ends up getting more volume as the year goes on because I don't think they want to run Montgomery 32 times. That's a lot. David Montgomery has had injuries in the past. He's a bigger back, so he can take more of a beating, but they're going to rely on him down the stretch, especially if they make the playoffs, because the Lions look like they're going to make the playoffs. It's not going to be great. So we'll see. Amon-Ra put Rasul Douglas in a blender. The first touchdown he had, Amon-Ra had a good game. Let's see the line for him. He had 5 catches, 56 yards, and a touchdown. So, Mr. Consistency continues to be one of my favorite players in the NFL. Love watching him. Josh Reynolds, 3 catches for 69 yards, has a very good rapport with Jared Goff, and it is evident when you watch the games. Sam Laporta, 4 catches, 56 yards. David Montgomery, 2 for 20. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 for 11. Rushing, David Montgomery, 32 carries, 121 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 for 40. Jared Goff, he did okay if you streamed him or you have him as a starter. 19 for 28, 210 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. They like to run the ball in the red zone, so there wasn't many opportunities for him to throw. But yeah, other than that, Jordan Love on the Packers side of the ball, slow starts again. Packers O-line was pretty depleted. If you played Aaron Jones this week and you were excited to get him back, I am so sorry. Aaron Jones finished with 5 rushes for 18 yards, and A.J. Dillon, 5 rushes for 11. Like, they could not get anything going on the ground. And it let that line's defensive line, especially Aiden Hutchinson, pin its earbacks, go rush the quarterback because of all the times they had to pass. Jordan Love had an ugly game, but for fantasy purposes, still kept himself as a good option. I think he got you like 17 points. 23 of 36, 246 yards of touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Packers are going to throw the ball a lot, especially if this O-line can't get anything going for the running backs. Jordan Love could be a great weekly streamer, or you can continue to keep him as a starter. If this is what his low games are going to look like, hey, that's good news. At least he's getting you 17. He's starting to rush a little bit more. He didn't really this much in this game because he was just getting hammered so quick. But Kachi's look good. I've been impressed with Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs is starting to become almost to the point where you could put him in as a wide receiver 3 lineup blocker or a flex. He had another 9 receptions, 95 yards. I think it's the most receptions he's had. Continues to build a rapport, and that's even with Christian Watson coming back. So that's great for PPR. Targets are there, getting the volume you like to see. Romeo Doubs been a pleasant surprise for a lot of people this year. The tight end DeGuara had 4 catches for 34 yards. I don't expect that to be a thing going forward. Reed, 3 for 55. Watson, 2 catches, 25 yards, and a touchdown. That the receivers probably have better weeks coming because Jordan Lynch just had like no time to really throw the ball. And hopefully these slow starts don't continue because Green Bay's been having to fight themselves out of big holes in both games. They made it interesting near the end, but if they can keep it close, maybe we'll have better performances for some of these receivers, more consistent output. Hopefully not as many like, boomer bust plays. We'll see. All right, folks. And now we're going to get into is the fun part of the show on the 4 games, our stardoms, our situms. Like I said, if you have any lineup questions, go ahead, put them in the comments. We'll answer them, what I think you should do. And we're just going to start. We'll just go down the list of slate that ESPN has listed. Starting Falcons, Jaguars. Start Bijan Robinson. Tyler Algier could be a flex play this week. I'm sure they're going to want to run the ball a lot as they do. You're benching Drake London, folks. You're playing Kyle Pitts if you have him just because there's not many other options out there in the tight end market, unless if somehow you scooped up a Sam Laporta or somebody else on the waiver wire. But as of right now, you start him, you're scared. You're scared to start Kyle Pitts because they don't throw the ball. It's just I don't understand what the Falcons' thought process was drafting Pitts, drafting Drake London, but not having their QB set for the franchise. A little weird, but whatever. Jaguar side of the ball, we're looking forward to Trevor Lawrence to kind of get out of this little bit of a funk he's in. This could be a get-right game for him. Starting Lawrence still, starting ETN because he's probably going to get a good workload. Starting Calvin Ridley because, drafted him pretty high, I'm sure. As far as the other pass catchers, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, it's kind of a toss-up. Christian Kirk, I could say you can consider a flex player. Zay Jones, another deep flex option because Lawrence likes to throw the ball. Evan Ingram, you're starting. He's been one of the more reliable tight ends this year, thankfully. So if you drafted him, you're in good graces so far with tight ends. But overall, this has the potential, I think, to be, if Lawrence and the Jaguars offense continues to struggle, there's a very good chance that this could be a very ground and pound, ugly, slow game, kind of like what we saw with the Texans games with the Jaguars. It wasn't a ground and pound, but it was an ugly game. The offense couldn't get in a rhythm. The pass catchers suffered. Lawrence just doesn't look like himself as of right now. So hopefully this is a pick-em-up game. We need some fantasy points from some of these guys we drafted. Moving on to the 1 o'clock slate games. We're going to start with one of the most exciting and look forward to games of the week. The blazing hot Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills at 1 o'clock. This is going to be a good game. Division rivalry. Could be a shootout, but both have pretty decent defenses. Maybe they stifle one another. I mean, Dolphins are coming off a 70-point game. Hot take. They probably won't score 70 points again. But this has the makings to be a classic. You're starting your Dolphins. Are you crazy? You have to. You're starting both running backs that both just had 40 points last week, so you don't know what the workload's going to be. Devin Chen looks great, looks explosive. Raheem Mostert has looked great. If you drafted him, you are probably happy. He has been consistent, big play potential. It's been awesome to watch. Is there going to be a 50-50 split because both of these guys they got the juices going right now? Be interesting to see. Jalen Waddle, I believe, is going to be back for this game. Great news for the Dolphins. That's crazy, folks. The Dolphins put up 70, and Jalen Waddle wasn't even on the field. Jalen Waddle fans, I'm sure, are excited to see what he does in their fantasy lineups today. Tua, look to see if he can continue this like MVP run that he's going on right now. Tyreek, he's a weekly, like one of the easiest lineup blocks you can have, even with a stingy Bills defense. He's going to get utilized somehow, some way. Mike McDaniels is a great offensive mind. He'll get him the ball. Bills side of the ball, Josh Allen, of course, starting. Stephon Diggs, like one of the most consistent wide receivers for like the last 5 years. Easy lineup block. Gabe Davis. Like he is, like when you think of boomer bust players, you probably picture Gabe Davis. Is he going to have more than one catch this week? You hope so, but you also hope that the big play potential is there where he gets like one for 40 plus yards and scores. He did that last week, and people probably thought he was on to have a great game. Only limited to one catch during that game. Just as inconsistent as they come, and somebody in that Buffalo defense needs to take over the number 2 like receiving. It can't just be Diggs all the time. Allen's craving for somebody. Is Dalton Kincaid going to slowly come along? Who knows? Running back wise, though, James Cook might be a tough outing for him. That's a good Dolphins D line. Probably going to get a lot of carries this game, I would assume. Just watch out for Latavius Murray in the red zone. He likes to vulture touchdowns. One of the best vultures I've ever seen. But James Cook does look good. He's running back too as of right now. So, yeah, I would expect him to have a good workload today. This has an exciting feel to it. This could be a high-scoring game potentially, a competitive game. This is the one I'm looking forward to watch. It kind of stinks that this is the 1 o'clock game and we get the Chiefs Jets for Sunday night. Like, I don't want to watch the Chiefs obliterate the New York Jets led by Zach Wilson for Sunday night. They should have flexed that game out. This should have been the night game tonight, but it is what it is. Moving on to the next game, one of the best games on the slate to potentially one of the worst games anybody's laid their eyes on. We have the Broncos and Bears at 1 o'clock. Both these teams are so bad. Maybe this turns into a shootout. Maybe they put up 26 plus on each other. Who knows? I doubt it. This one could be one where you want to gouge your eyes out, turn off your TV. Whew. Broncos, as we all know, just let up 70 points last week in an embarrassing effort. Like, half those guys should be canned after that game. The Bears, if you could describe disarray and dysfunctional in a sentence with one word, you probably say Bears. The Chicago, I don't know what is going on. Justin Fields is throwing coaches under the bus. Chase Claypool's coming out saying he's not being utilized correctly because, last thing he's ever done that's been helpful is cheer for a first down when time was running out for the Steelers back then. I think I just got a notification that Chase Claypool is benched. Yep. Chase Claypool, healthy scratch after making comments. So Chase Claypool can say something he's not, and it wasn't even that bad. He just said he wasn't being utilized correctly. He gets benched for that, but Justin Fields can throw the whole coaching staff under the bus, and he gets away with it. I don't know what to expect. People who drafted Khalil Herbert, I'm one of them. You're probably expecting to get some good usage out of him. Khalil Herbert has talent. The Bears' offensive line is part of the problem. They're garbage. I don't even know what to expect. Like, this could be a Fields game. Like, maybe you see something. Maybe Moore gets the consistent volume he's getting now that Claypool's not there. I don't from the Bears' offense side of the ball. If they cannot get in a rhythm and show any fight against this Denver Broncos defense, season's over. Like, the Fields experiment, it needs to be done. Like, you tank for the number one pick. Like, Caleb Williams from USC looked like a complete stud yesterday. 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, the Fields experiment's over. Like, they just need to move on. It's ridiculous at this point if you can't get anything going against this Broncos defense. Broncos side of the ball, offensively, Russ just looks horrible. I don't know, like, what Sean Payton's going to try to cook up for this game. Like, he should be able to get stuff going. Javonte Williams should get a decent workload. You would think this game, that Bears front is not that great. Maybe Payton uses the run to help set up the pass this game. Help set up play action. Maybe get Javonte Williams on some passes. Use him in a Kamara type role because that's how Payton kind of sees Javonte. Cortland Sutton, you're starting him. Cortland Sutton could be, with the targets he's probably going to get this week, could be in wide receiver 2 range. Possible wide receiver 1 potential this week, as he's getting peppered with targets. There's not really many mouths to feed in Denver, and the Bears secondary is garbage. The whole Bears team is pretty much garbage. So this has the makings of being either the crap bowl or we get a pleasant surprise and both these teams start putting up numbers somehow. We'll see. That's going to be, if you're bored and you need to take a nap, go ahead and watch this game. Next, we got Ravens-Browns, division rival game. Going to be a fun one. See what happens. Ravens offense, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. I think Bateman might be hurt again. I'm not sure. He's questionable or something. So we'll see. Gus Edwards, he's pretty much a lineup lock. I would say he's going to get his touches as a flex option, possible running back too. Zay Flowers, you want to see just more consistency and more target usage, which you think would be there now that Odell's out. Other than that, though, the Ravens offense, they just had a horrible week last week. So we'll see if they pick it up. Andrews probably get targeted a little bit more. I don't really have anything else to really talk about. Like, the Ravens offense, to me, it's uninspiring to watch. I'm just not a fan. I just think I don't know. To me, I'm not a fan of the way they run their offense. Brown side of the ball, Jerome Ford probably going to get some touches. Let's see what happens. I think Deshaun is playing this week. Let me see. Is he playing? He's listed as questionable. He is expected to play. He's got a shoulder problem. Shoulder is a little concerning because it's his throwing shoulder. So we'll see. But this Falcons secondary is pretty banged up. Falcons continue to be one of the most injury-riddled teams into this season. Seems like they just can't ever escape the injury bug. So we'll see if Watson's good to go. Elijah Moore, folks, if you don't know, Elijah Moore in each of the games has had 7 targets. That's great for PPR. You're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's flex consideration, possible wide receiver 3. Problem is, his depth of target's been really, really low, which is ironic because Elijah Moore's thought of as a deep threat, a big play guy, but his depth of target's only like 5 yards. Maybe they can start getting him going a little bit more, get him open on the back end. Watson's been horrible passing the ball most of the year, so that's probably why he's suffering. Amari Cooper, he's a lineup lock. He looks good. Like, he's been having some good production with Watson, even with Watson struggling. David Njoku, again, depending where you drafted David Njoku, there's probably nothing really good to replace him with. The tight end situation in fantasy it's like 3 guys you can rely on, and then everything else is just kind of a crapshoot. So, other than that, Kareem Hunt, I don't know if Kareem Hunt's playing, so Jerome Ford might have himself big usage game, which is good for fantasy. Next, we got the Steelers Texans. This could be an exciting game. This is a big test for CJ Stroud in that Texans offense. Steelers defense is for real. Going to have to worry about TJ Watt coming off the end. Mika Fitzpatrick, one of the best safeties in the league. See what CJ Stroud can do. He's looked very impressive so far. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. Those guys, they're performing for you if you got them. Wide receivers 3 and 2. It's been great watching. It's been fun. Damian Pierce, this might be a game where you're a little on Damian Pierce. But let's see. As far as the Steelers, though, George Pickens, lineup lock, number 1 receiver with Deontay Johnson still out. Pat Freiermuth, looking forward to him getting some work over the middle of the field. The Steelers linebackers aren't the best, so he might be able to get some work, might be a red zone option for him this game. What's going to happen with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren? Jalen Warren absolutely deserves to be the starting running back. Najee Harris offers like nothing. Like we're watching Trent Richardson 2.0 right in front of our eyes. Just Najee has no juice to him. Like he'd be better off playing fullback at this point. I don't know what happened. Vision's not there. It's bad. Like the Steelers broke this guy after his rookie season. I don't know what's happening. Warren at least offers some type of juice. I would just go ahead and make Warren the starter. I'm putting Warren in as a flex if you have him. Possible running back too. Think he gets some work this week. Kenny Pickett could be a good streaming option for you if you waited later in the draft to get a QB. Because the Texans defense, they don't have their starting corner. Stingley's on IR. They do have some juice on the D line with Will Anderson and some of those other guys, but I think the Steelers will be able to put up points on the Texans. Mike Tomlin, great head coach. D'Amico Ryan's still rookie head coach, so D'Amico's got a learning curve. Tomlin, I think, will be able to get used to that. I think Tomlin might be able to rattle CJ Stroud a little bit. This might be the time where we see CJ Stroud actually throw an interception or just have some bad reads this play, so we'll be interested to see. Our next game, we got the Vikings-Panthers. This is one of the uglier games on this slate. The Panthers just don't offer much. It seems like Bryce Young is running for his life every play. Miles Sanders probably get good usage out of him. Pass catcher-wise, I wouldn't want to start anybody from this Panthers offense. Bryce Young, you're not using him even in a streaming capacity. On the other side of the ball, Vikings starting your guys. Kirk probably going to throw for close to 300 yards. Again, they love throwing the ball. Alexander Madison, maybe he continues after a good week last week. That'd be cool for a lot of people who drafted him high, expecting him to do great with this workload. Feel like he's going to have to keep producing like that because if not, they just traded for Cam Akers. Sure, he's going to start getting implemented. Madison continues to struggle holding onto the ball. Akers might be taking his job sooner than later, so we'll expect to see him step it up. Justin Jefferson, automatic lineup block. Duh. Addison, wide receiver 3, potential wide receiver 2 upside, depending on how he gets used. Last week, the first half, you were scared, wasn't getting targeted at all. Started to pick it up in the second half. I think he finished with 4 or 5 catches for 56 yards. Addison's been very consistent for a rookie as a wide receiver. I've got a lot of shares of Addison in my leagues. Been pleasantly surprised with how well he's acclimated himself this early in the season for a rookie. I'm going to continue to play him on my flex. Offers big play potential. He is fast, folks. Kirk likes to throw the ball. He likes to take shots deep down the field. Addison comes in at wide receiver 3 for me. KJ Osborne in deep release comes in as a deep flex consideration. Kirk likes to look his way. KJ Osborne always seems to have 1 or 2 big plays a game. Sometimes he takes them all the way to the house for a score. So, potential flex consideration. Rams Colts. This could have been one of the uglier games in the year if the Rams were going to be as bad as what we thought they were. But no, the Rams look pretty good. Anthony Richardson is back. This could be an exciting game. You get nervous with Anthony Richardson because a little reckless with his body. He hasn't finished a complete game yet this season. That's a little scary. He's definitely going to have to take time to learn how to protect himself, not get hit as much. As far as that, Michael Pittman, He's pretty much a lineup block as a wide receiver too, with wide receiver one upside. He gets peppered with targets. He produces for us, whoever's playing at quarterback. Running back wise, Zach Moss, he looked good. Man, did he look good last week. So we'll see what happens. This front, scary. Might have to be more of a passing game. And as far as wide receiver two, does anybody take over? Alec Pierce, inconsistent. Whoever else they have out there, Downs, I think, is the other receiver. Is there something there? We'll see. We're waiting for somebody to take the reins over at wide receiver two. As far as Rams offense, Stafford, this could be a good streaming week for Stafford if you waited later in drafts to get a QB. Kyron Williams, you're starting him. He's getting usage. He's looked really good. Puka Nakua, of course, you're starting him while Cooper Kupp is out still. We'll see what happens. Tutu, flex consideration. The receivers from the Rams have looked good. And then one of the most looked forward to games this week, not because of what could happen during the game on the field, but more so after the whistle. We got the Bucks and the Saints. Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore. Excited to see, is this one going to end in a brawl? These two hate each other. It's great fun for us. Brings back that old school football field. But what's going to happen? Buccaneers offense. Can they get the run game going? Can Rachaad White establish some type of consistency running the ball? Last week, the rush game was non-existent. That Philadelphia run defense is for real, folks. Like, they stop pretty much everybody they go up against as of right now. So I faded and sat Rachaad White, and it was a good thing I did because Philly's run defense showed up again. Passing game attack. Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore. The Saints, you don't think about the Saints. Like, that's not one of the first teams that come to mind when you think about good defenses, but the Saints have been a quality defense over the last few seasons. Been very stingy. So we'll see. They can rattle Baker Mayfield. We saw if you get Baker Mayfield rattle, he's going to throw bad passes. That happened last week. He threw a pick. We'll see. Saints side of the ball. Derek Carr may actually suit up. After initial reports telling us he might be out for multiple weeks, but they said that he missed a potentially very severe injury. They said saying he might be able to suit up and go. How effective will Derek Carr be? It's an AC joint thing that's injured in his throwing shoulder. I don't know how effective he can be. You would hope the Saints, if it's serious like that, you wouldn't want to throw Derek Carr out there. Jameis Winston's one of the best backups in the league right now. And Jameis Winston is one of the few backups that has the arm talent of a starter that could continue to throw deep shots to Olave, Shaheed, if he gets deep down the field. So I don't know what's going to happen with the QB situation. Regardless, Alvin Kamara comes back. All those that drafted can now have Alvin Kamara in their lineup. He is a running back one when you have him this week. I don't know if they're going to give him the full workload. You would imagine they would, because it's not like he's coming back from injury. He's coming back from suspension. So, yeah, I would say running back one potential. They're probably going to use him, especially if Jameis is in there. I don't know if they're going to want Jameis to throw the ball 30 times. And if Jameis throws 30 times, there's a chance it's going to be picked 5 times. So we'll see what goes on there. Next game, we got my Philadelphia Eagles playing Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders. Biggest thing is Sam Howell have a bounce back week? Looked ugly last week. Like 100-something yards, 4 interceptions, obliterated by the Buffalo Bills. Was not a good showing. Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, they have been fantasy disappointments this year. Kind of expected that to happen. Thought Jahan Dotson would look a little bit better than he has. But it's all relying on QB play. And the Commanders haven't had solid QB play, honestly, since Ryan Fitzpatrick was there. If I'm not mistaken, I think Fitzmagic was there for a little bit. But yeah, running backs, you're sitting Brian Robinson this week, folks. Like, sorry to say, like, Brian Robinson in this game it's not going to pan out against that Philadelphia run defense. I don't see it happening. The big boys up front on the Eagles D line, they are for real. And again, the pass catchers for Washington going up against a very good cornerback duo, Darius Big Play Slay and James Bradbury. For an Eagles fan, I'm hoping this is ugly for Washington, but I will acknowledge Washington does play Philly pretty tough every time they play. So maybe there are going to be some points. Sam Howell, the only way you can play is up after what he did last week. So who knows? Eagles side of the ball, DeAndre Swift, running back one lock right now with the usage he's getting, how good he's looked behind that O line. Washington has a very good front seven. That D line's very, very good, especially the boys in the middle. I acknowledge that. However, we're going to test the cornerbacks. Devontae Smith loves to eat against Washington, plays them. Devontae Smith, wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2 upside, I would say, for this game. A.J. Brown, lineup block. Dallas Goedert. All of us Dallas Goedert fantasy owners are waiting for the Dallas Goedert game. This could be the Dallas Goedert game. I'm hoping they figure out how to use this man more in the middle of the field instead of using him just on like quick security catch downs, like just quick receptions. Like it's been ugly. I don't know why they're not utilizing our guy over the middle of the field. It's been my biggest complaint about the Eagles. I can talk about this all week long. But Jalen Hurts, hopefully this is his best game of the season. Hopefully he cuts down on the turnovers. Hoping he just starts, getting his confidence back. Hopefully no flu this week. So this could be a get-right game for him. This could be the best game that the Eagles have of the season. So we'll see. My fault, Ray. I didn't even see the comment pop. Christian Kirk versus Falcons in London with no Zay Jones or Agnew. Or Jacoby Myers versus Charger with Aiden starting. Standard scoring. Oh, standard scoring. So I'm going to say I would go Christian Kirk with no Zay Jones. I did not realize Zay Jones was not playing. I would go Christian Kirk for standard. Jacoby with the rookie Aiden starting, you can't trust it. The Chargers do, on paper, have a good defense. This could be an ugly game between the Raiders and the Chargers, honestly. But yeah, I'm going to go Christian Kirk on that one. Next game we got Bengals or Titans. All right, this could be bad for you Titans fans. This could be Joe Burrow's get-right game. We're hoping, right? No setback after last game. Even though we were nervous, like, hey, should they even play him? Like, he was talking about sitting out. No setbacks, good. He participated in practice all week. It's great. Maybe Joey B is getting right where he needs to be. Maybe we can get some deep shots. Jamar Chase had himself a game last week. With Burrow being a little bit more confident in that calf, let's see if we can get some more production. Still haven't seen Chase score a touchdown yet. Maybe this is the week he gets it. I doubt he gets, 15 targets like he did last week or whatever. They've got T. Higgins, who's very good. Tyler Boyd's very good. Irv Smith offers some juice in the tight end game. Not starting Irv Smith at all. Possible streaming option, but as of right now, not reliable enough in fantasy. So we'll see. Can Joe Mixon get something going on the ground? He had a touchdown last week. Could see if he continues to do well. The Titans' run defense is kind of tricky, though. They're a little pesky when it comes to allowing running backs to run. They're very good at stopping the run. Other than that, Titans' offensive side of the ball, I don't know who you're playing. You're probably starting D-Hop as a wide receiver 3, a flex option. Traylon Burks, same thing. It's just Derrick Henry is – I think we're witnessing the end of Derrick Henry, and it's sad. The king, I don't think shall be no more. He's getting out snapped. He's, I think, running like 2.5 yards per carry. Ew. Plus that Titans offense just isn't formidable at all. It's almost to the point where you want to bench Derrick Henry because you can't trade him because nobody's going to offer anything worth of value from where you took Derrick Henry, first rounder, like around the 7 to 10 pick range. somewhere around there, I'm assuming. So don't know. You're not feeling good if you have him. We'll just move on from this game. Next, we got Raiders Chargers. Big news out of there. No Jimmy G this week. The rookie Aiden is starting. Don't know what that has for our pass catchers. Devontae Adams takes another hit value wise. Don't expect no 40 pieces this week out of him. Hunter Renfro, nah, don't know. Jacoby Myers maybe gets a few targets from him on quick routes. Don't know. Maybe this is the Josh Jacobs week. Maybe this is the week Josh Jacobs comes back to fantasy relevance. Had a huge year last year, but the curse continues. After a running back has huge usage years and has a great year in fantasy, the next year they struggle. That's looks like what's happening here. Maybe they get him going. I would assume they would. Don't think Josh McDaniels wants to keep the game in Aiden's hand. Throwing the ball just doesn't seem very conducive to winning. On the other side, this might be an explosion from the Chargers offense. Yes, no Mike Williams out for the year. However, they still have Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson, the rookie who offers huge play upside and basically built like Mike Williams. We'll see. Still no Austin Eckler. You're not starting Josh Kelly. I'll let you know right now, folks. The only way you're starting Josh Kelly is every other one of your running backs is hurt and there's nobody on the waiver wire. Like Josh Kelly's looked absolutely awful. Not a good football player. Just so uninspiring to watch when he's running the ball. Keenan Allen, I'm pretty sure he's like wide receiver 1 right now. You're starting Keenan. Probably going to get peppered with targets now that Mike Williams is out. Herbert, definitely starting. Herbert's been slinging that thing. Kellen Moore's been an amazing addition to that Chargers offense. This could be a fun game for Chargers fans and for Charger fantasy owners. Patriots Cowboys. You you would think, yeah, it should be an easier win for the Cowboys. Yes, Bill Belichick's defense got some players on there. Very, very good defense. But after what the Cowboys did last week, losing to Laser Man and the Cardinals, I don't know. We'll see. This has to be a bounce back week for Dallas. I'm sure they're PO'd, but with Mike McCarthy calling plays, I'd be scared if I was a Dallas fan. You're starting CeeDee Lamb, starting Pollard. Pollard's been awesome for us. Don't know if Brandon Cooks is playing yet or not. Michael Gallup, potential flex consideration. Ferguson, the tight end, he's been getting targets, so he's been a pleasant surprise in the tight end realm of things. Dak Prescott, possible. This would be a bench week for Dak, if I'm being honest. Just with Bill Belichick's defense, I could see Dak throwing a pick or two, having some trouble against that defense, but he could have a bounce back week. So I'm more leaning on benching Dak this week and finding a streamer. Like if you can get a Jordan Love in there, a Kenny Pickett or something like that, go ahead and do that. Patriots side of the ball, Ramondre Stevenson is about the only person you can trust with the Patriots. Mac Jones, you're not playing him in fantasy. Hunter Henry, he's like a thing with tight ends because he has a way of finding himself in the red zone, getting scores, but the usage just isn't there, and the the Patriots offense is just it's not one that makes you excited to watch. So we'll see. Moving on, we got the Red Hot Cardinals against the 49ers. Who would thought that the Cardinals would be red hot? No, I'm just joking. They're not red hot, but they did beat America's team last week and put a whooping on the Cowboys. So we'll see. Can Josh Dobbs continue to play well? He's got good scrambling ability. Marquise Hollywood, Browns, had himself an okay fantasy year. I was all aboard the fade every Cardinals player besides possibly Zach Ertz for fantasy. Just because I figured Ertz would get targeted heavy because of Josh Dobbs just getting there like weeks before the season started. But Hollywood Browns looked okay. James Conner, he's not like the sexy pick at running back, but he's one of the only ones you can really trust. He offers running back 2 upside with the usage he gets. And then Zach Ertz. He's an okay tight end option. He gets between 4 to 6 targets a game. We'll take that out of the tight end position. It's just the Cardinals offense doesn't offer that much juice. So you can't get that excited about them. 49ers, best defense in the league. I expect Josh Dobbs to come back down to earth a little bit. This might be an ugly one for the Cardinals. But on the offensive side of the ball, Brock Purdy be a good stream start this week. Think he'll do well. Christian McCaffrey, running back one, lock it in. Hey, if you're making bets, Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown score right now on the pace that he's on the streak he's had. It's about as easy money as you're gonna make, folks. Expect him to look good. Debo and Ayuk, I think, are both questionable. I think they're both playing. We'll see what's going on with that. Ayuk had a shoulder thing going on last week. He didn't play. Debo looked good. Debo's been looking good. I'm pleasantly surprised. I thought Debo was going to struggle this year. So we'll see. George Kittle had himself like 90 something yards. If Ayuk comes back, I think Kittle takes a hit. And this is what you get when you have George Kittle on your team. It's boom or bust with George Kittle, unfortunately. This week, looking like it might be one of those bust weeks, but who knows? We'll see. Cardinals defense doesn't offer much, so there are going to be plenty of opportunities for people to score. Chiefs Jets are Sunday night game. This is what they give us for our Sunday night game. They didn't flex it out. I don't know why. Who wants to watch Zach Wilson lead this Jets offense? I can tell you I don't anymore. The Jets are, I don't know if any of these rumors are true from the reports that are happening in the locker room, but they are imploding, it sounds like. Robert Salah looks like he might possibly be losing the locker room. Oof. We'll see what happens. This one's got the makings be ugly. Mahomes is, who knows, maybe this is a game where Mahomes is set in the third quarter because the lead is so big. Because that Kansas City defense is very good. That Jets offense can't get anything going. Breece Hall, I'm sure, is getting pissed. Dalvin Cook probably wishes he didn't sign there now. Like, the running backs can't get anything going. They look awful. Wilson is not an NFL QB. I don't know why he continues to get chances. Garrett Wilson, you could probably bench him and be okay with it. And it sucks because people took him so high because of the talent he was going to have with Rodgers being a QB. And it sucks, man. This is what sucks with fantasy. You feel bad for the kid. He's got all the talent in the world. He's a potential flex play, but that wide receiver 2 lineup block with wide receiver 1 potential, top 5 potential in the position, it's gone because Zach Wilson is such cheeks at quarterback, man. That's all I really have to say about the game. Like, Travis Kelce, lineup block. Mahomes, lineup block. Other than that, no cheese pass catcher. Can't trust any of them. The Jets have a formidable defense. So they're probably going to have problems. Sauce is probably going to lock up whoever on the outside. So who knows? This could be an ugly one. This could be a blowout, complete snooze fest. This will be a game to put everybody to bed that night. And then Monday, the 8:15 game. I don't know how this got put in there either. Who wants to watch Daniel Jones in prime time? I don't. I'm tired of it. Seahawks, Giants. Who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones has bounce back week. I doubt it. There's no Saquon there to take all the load off Daniel's shoulders. The pass catchers on the Giants, they can't separate worth a crap. Can't trust any of them. Darren Waller's probably going to get doubled. All of us Darren Waller fans were excited to see what he could do in this offense because he was looking good from what reports were in training camp. Doesn't matter when you're getting double teamed and your QB can't get you the ball. So, don't know. Geno and the Seahawks pass catchers could have themselves a nice little fantasy day. Don't expect anything too crazy. Kenneth Walker, the third, expect to get a lot of run. He's looked great so far. He's been a running back 1 this year. Other than that, these 2 late night games we got for tonight and tomorrow, they are uninspiring to say the least, folks. So there was all our lineup locks and sits. Next, we got our DFS lineups. Real quick, I'll just give you what I did today. And hopefully we can win some money, see what you all have done. Let's see. Let me go to the lineup. And for my lineup, folks, I'm not missing out anymore. This will probably be the week I get screwed doing it, though. I am doing a Dolphin stack. I paid the high money. I went and got Tyreek Hill, and I paired him up with Tua. Tua's still only 8,000 in for the salary, which is pretty good. I think that brings him in at like QB 3 or 4 or something like that. So I went with it. Still a good price point. Waddle's back. Don't expect to drop 70 points, of course. come back down to earth a little bit. But do expect that they're going to have to pass a lot in this game. This could be a high scoring game. This has a bit playoff feel to it. This game between the Dolphins and Buffalo. Let's see. My two running backs, DeAndre Swift at 7,800, kind of felt like a steal. DeAndre Swift has been balling. Yes, Washington has a good defensive line, but the Eagles' O line is so good. I can see them opening up holes for DeAndre Swift. I'm gonna go ahead and trust the Philly kid to continue to look good. Jerome Ford, $6,400. Hey, for the usage he's going to get if Kareem can't play, which I don't expect Kareem Hunt to suit up today, 6,400, not bad. Ravens defense 16 against the run. Cleveland likes to run the ball. Cleveland has a very good offensive line. Got guys like Wide Teller pancaking people 15 yards down the field. It's awesome. So yeah, looking forward to there. Wide receivers, I already said, yeah, I got Tyreek Hill, 9,600. I paid the premium for him, hoping to get some big plays out of him. I went Josh Palmer. He's only 6,100. Usage increase. Herbert likes to sling the ball. The Raiders defense secondary, they ain't got nobody that's going to lock anybody up. So potential boom week for Josh Palmer. And then I went ahead. This is probably going to bite me. I picked DJ Moore. $6,100 going against the Broncos' awful defense. Do you trust Justin Fields? No, you don't at all. But $6,100, not a bad price point for a wide receiver one. We'll see. Maybe he does something this week. Tight end, Gerald Everett, $5,000. Tight ends, aren't sexy. I tried to go a little bit on the lower end to make up for the Tyreek Hill cost. Gerald Everett, when he gets used, he's an exciting player for the Chargers. With Mike Williams out, maybe he gets more targets. Who knows? Herbert does like to look for him, though, so we'll see. And then my flex, wasn't too thrilled about this one, but this, again, another wide receiver one on a bad offense, but target potential. Cortland Sutton for 7,100. He was getting targeted left and right last week. I expect the same thing this week. Chicago secondary is not very good. Both these teams aren't very good. So who knows? Maybe he gets some good target share. Maybe he gets some decent yardage out of him and more. Maybe we get a touchdown out of one or both of them. We'll see. Then for the defense, I picked the Chargers at 3,900 going against a rookie QB in Oakland. Yeah, they have Devontae Adams. They don't expect this rookie QB really to do anything. If you can contain Josh Jacobs, Chargers might have their way with them. We'll see. Hey, maybe we'll get a few turnovers. Maybe we get a defensive touchdown. Who knows? So that's my DFS lineup for the week. Good luck to everybody in their games coming up here in about 10 minutes. Look at that. We're finishing right on cue. 10 minutes before kickoff. Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hey, be a friend, tell a friend. Come join Coda's Cove because the wallet is fine, baby. Have a great week, everyone.